Remember when Disney didn't try to blow themselves during each opening movie logo? If the Santa Claus had come out these days, they'd have put the Magic Kingdom castle in the middle of the North Pole, with like hot rods and calendars with women in bikinis scattered around it to appeal to Tim Allen's demographic. What the hell kind of Christmas party is this? Everyone's on different floors, celebrating within the 36 inches between the offices and the railing. It's like this was held at a fucking Embassy Suites.
Scott Calvin and Susan Perry.
You can tell how useless all this setup is by the fact that they do it during the opening credits. Do you really need to know who was responsible for the 4Q Midwest revenue growth this year? Viewer, you do not.
But our families aren't here with us right now. Which is probably why Johnson's secretary's sitting in his lap.
Casual office adultery. Weren't the 90s great? Also, I know corporate dudes use people's last names a lot, but did Scott really call this dude Johnson? In a firm this large, I refuse to believe there's only one motherfucker with that super common surname. Also, these 2 minutes of party shenanigans still managed to be funnier than the entirety of Office Christmas Party.
Hark how the bells, sweet silver bells.
A full minute of Christmas caroling to finish off the opening credits, after we've already gone through the opening that shows what an asshole Scott is. Also, just in case the title of the film didn't give away the holiday theme, movie hits the audience over the head with Christmas so hard in the first 3 minutes that we all need eggnog ice packs. Judge Reinhold isn't masturbating to an imaginary Phoebe Cates in this scene. Also, just 3 years prior, Judge Reinhold probably would have been the lead in this film, but now he's playing second fiddle to the f***ing guy from Home Improvement. I like to believe that that is the inspirational juice he's putting behind this sarcastic wave.
You going to your mom's for dinner?
Actually, we're going to be with Neil's family.
Christmas at the Pound. Oh!
I remember how charming Tim Allen was back in the day. Really, besides Buzz Lightyear, this was every f***ing character he did. A crass dickhead that says whatever he wants and thinks he's super funny, and eventually turns out to have a heart.
And who gave you permission to tell Charlie there's no Santa Claus?
Considering how loud Scott is talking right now, he's pretty much taking care of that himself.
If we're going to destroy our son's illusions, I should be a part of it.
Yeah, but you're never around, are you, Scott?
Oh, please.
I really want to say that Liar Liar ripped this movie off 3 years later, but since it's so much better than this, I choose to believe that Liar Liar was in development for many years, and this movie ripped it off. I realize 1994 Disney isn't 2018 Disney, but Denny's was the best product placement tie-in they could get for a big holiday film. Hope they didn't cater the set as well. Moons Over Miami is literally the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh, chocolate milk, please.
We're out.
Plain milk's fine.
Jesus Christ, even though I know all this turns out okay, I feel bad for this kid's super shitty night, so I'm gonna sin the movie anyway.
At least we know they got hot apple pie.
We did.
Then maybe not be a dick and take the fucking sign down, Denny's.
Hey, you!
The Santa's been at this a long time, and has to have encountered a parent discovering him before, especially if he's making this much noise. This fall is total amateur hour. Also, that roof's like 18, 20 feet off the ground. If the Dark Knight taught me anything, and it's taught me plenty, including how to kill someone with a pencil, it's that falling from a couple stories up won't kill you. If Santa had broken his legs and couldn't complete the voyage, that would make a lot more sense. Woohoo! Yep, he's done killed Santa, and if the movie took a hard left turn into a horror movie from this point on, I'd be much more interested. Man, Charlie's displaying some disturbing bloodlust in his early years.
If something should happen to me, put on my suit, the reindeer will know what to do.
Seems like a pretty fucking important piece of info to just have half-ass stuffed in a coat. Also, this is Santa's contingency plan. Just hand over the job to any Tim, Dick, or Harry that happens to be around during his death? This is less practical than giving singular authority over the American nuke codes to one highly unstable person. I understand not everyone in this condo complex would wake up when Santa landed, but Scott and Charlie have made a lot of noise out here, so why isn't that waking anyone else up?
Dad, he disappeared.
I look forward to the end of the movie, when, after defeating the Empire, Scott will be visited by Santa's Force Ghost, who will be beaming with pride.
Charlie, come on down from there.
Actually, yeah, that roof is super steep, covered with snow, and has already killed a person tonight.
Whoa, this guy was huge.
Santa shaming. So it's the night before Christmas. The man standing last was convinced to play Santa by a rogue reindeer's gas?
Let's go.
Since the card said Scott had to put the suit on and the reindeer would know what to do, why are they doing anything if he doesn't have the suit on? I might believe in Santa, but his instructions aren't worth. Also, how many kids have been skipped due to this whole situation? I mean, I know Santa's magic and all, but he's also got a very tight window to squeeze the gift delivery into. So I'm just gonna assume the entire country of Botswana has now been missed. What the f*** is up with these effects? You might say it's only 1994, but then I would say we're only 3 years removed from T2 and 1 year removed from Jurassic Park, so f*** off.
How come everything I want to do is stupid?
Passive aggression.
Freezing my nubs off out here.
Which seems like yet another great reason to put the f***ing suit on. This movie is taking way too long to Santa Claus. Movie is presenting us with a world where Santa exists, but the parents believe that he doesn't. So where the f*** do they think these toys come from for their kids every Christmas?
There's no chimney here.
Look, I can maybe buy that the entire complex where Scott lives was on Quaaludes or some shit, but they're making a tremendous amount of noise here, and the guy next door is already awake and armed. Where's his ass?
Ouch! Oh!
What kind of terrible parent lets their kid sleep on the couch in the same room as the tree on Christmas Eve? Hey, whatever happened to the rainforests? That was a big deal in the 90s, but you never really hear about them today. Are they good now? Did Fern Gully and Medicine Man really turn the tide in that battle? I guess movies saying that Scott and Charlie successfully delivered gifts to the Chicagoland area? Is that it? What about Guam, South Africa, Taiwan, Djibouti? Are they all screwed?
We're done, Comet.
Man, Tim Allen just disappears into this role, doesn't he? Honestly thought Scott was being played by Alan Rickman the first time I saw this. While I appreciate good subterfuge as much as the next guy, I don't understand why you need it all the fucking way out in the North Pole. Who else would be around to discover all this shit? I guess the elves are excited that Christmas is done, but did no one give a shit about the last Santa? He's fucking dead, man. Doesn't anyone want to say a few words or something? Does this happen all the time?
I thought I told you to stay in the sleigh.
Who's this?
This brings up an interesting question. If the new Santa is required to take over for the old Santa, what if the new Santa has, like, a really important job that saves a lot of lives? He's gotta leave that shit? Also, what if he's taken over by a woman or a kid? The sequel's all about the Mrs. Claus, so what would happen then? My point is that everyone involved with this movie was way too busy handling that mountain of cocaine than putting any actual thought into the script.
Larry, take Charlie here and get him some chow.
Strangers with candy.
Then you're the new Santa. In putting on the hat and jacket, you accepted the contract.
This is a fucked up way to run a popular holiday, man. Also, Scott doesn't immediately tell him that he didn't wear the hat, just the jacket, so the contract is null and void. Tim the Tool, man.
Dad, you gotta see this place.
You better come take a look at this cliche.
You leave tomorrow morning. You have 11 months to get your affairs in order, and you're due back here Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving? I mean, that's awfully kind of them to give him some time to say goodbye, but isn't Thanksgiving cutting it a little close to be cramming for full Santa-age next year? Also, why does the David Krumholtz elf character have dreadlocks? I mean, I guess it worked for Adam Duritz, but 1994 was weird, dude.
You should get some sleep.
Yeah, but the sun was already coming up in Chicago when they flew by, and that had to have been several hours ago. Even though the North Pole is constantly dark in the winter, it doesn't mean it's actually nighttime, and Charlie's mom said she was picking him up super early on Christmas Day. Just because there's magic here doesn't mean you can Doctor Strange the timeline, damn it. Why are Scott's pajamas a perfect fit? We've seen that Santa outfit was huge on him, and Judy definitely gave him official Santa's PJs. Did the original Santa squeeze his fat ass into these things?
I see it, but I don't believe it.
Really? Because I can totally believe this is an obviously painted backdrop you're looking at.
Dad was Santa, and Larry showed me the workshop. You know where they make all the toys?
God damn it, I've heard kids more excited about describing a trip to the grocery store. How the hell does Charlie state this so matter-of-factly?
That's the new Santa. The regular Santa fell off the roof. Then Dad put on the suit.
I'm not sure exactly how old Charlie's supposed to be, but I am sure he's at least my mom and stepfather aren't going to believe me when I tell them Dad's the new Santa years old.
Can I ask Dad to go first?
If that's how you feel, Charlie.
What kind of monster kid invites 3 of his parents for career day, letting at least 2 of them present? Is he trying to mock the other kids from single-parent households? Also, isn't the whole thing about Scott that he's distant and never there, but he's here in midday at school for career day?
Bobby, we don't say stupid, and we don't say elves. They're little people.
I almost want to take a sin away for the masterful casting of Mary Gross, but then I'd have to be that guy that took a fucking sin away from the Santa Claus, so...
I am a doctor.
No, he's not. He's a psychiatrist.
This movie really makes me realize how many jokes were mined out of the he's not a real doctor trope. Dentists, dermatologists, psychiatrists, plastic surgeons, podiatrists, they're all apparently open game for comedy gold. Serious question, was this look this popular in 1994? Or was it a pure accident that Wendy Crewson looks exactly like Uma Thurman in Pulp Fiction?
I know who you are, Dad. You'll figure it out soon enough.
Did the elves seriously not make any attempts at a follow-up with Scott after Christmas? Sure, they're letting him get his affairs in order, but he's a brand new f***ing Santa, man. At least send him the manual to start reviewing after he gets back.
How can one man, in one night, visit all the children of the world?
And I think there's some sort of time continuum that breaks down what Santa's in the sleigh.
Just go ahead and say yada yada, kid. Not for Santa himself, just for this movie.
I mean, you're not listening. We are very concerned about this.
Concerned about what?
I gotta side with Scott in this case. Charlie is a young kid who has a very healthy and active imagination. There had to be many more interesting directions they could have taken this story, instead of just sticking with the concerned, non-believing parents storyline that even sitcoms at this time would have avoided.
We've got to talk about the Santa Claus thing.
Actually, can you do a lot less talking? After they get back from the North Pole, they go through this is it real thing for f***ing ever. And I'm afraid we've already exceeded our unnecessary fart quota for the movie, folks. Let's add, 15 sins as a fair penalty.
Calvin.
Oh yeah, remember that super important job that dominated Scott's life, but we haven't seen him at for the last half of the movie? Seriously, how long has it been since these assholes have seen him?
All we got to do is develop a basic, simple, inexpensive toy.
Calvin, can I see you outside a minute?
He's making boss pissed, he's tanking his price. You're gonna find out who's the fraudulent type. Santa Scott, he sucks with this crowd.
I don't know what's happening to you. You're starting to look like the Pillsbury Doughboy.
That's pastrycist.
I shave in the morning, in the afternoon, I look like this.
Could be a hormonal imbalance.
Could be that this guy needs to give his medical degree back. Why would Santa's heart play Jingle Bells? Based on what happened at the beginning of the film, it's clear that Santa can f***ing die from falling off a roof. So wouldn't all his internal organs act like a normal person's would? And the Parents of the Year award goes to the folks in this park who allow their kids to go up to a bearded stranger and sit on his lap with no supervision. This scene could be best described as peak 90s jeans.
It's the list.
Wait, but didn't Bernard tell him that he had to put a
P next to the kids who are nice and a C next to the naughty ones.
because this looks like he just checks off a box. Seems like Scott could just let Neil and Laura witness the transformation firsthand and there would be no familial issues for the rest of the movie. You wouldn't even need to cast a custody judge.
I got dozens of presents, so I got everything except a mystery date.
I'm sorry, miss, but you must have accidentally wandered off the set of the movie that actually required you to act. I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
All of your visitation rights are suspended pending a hearing after the first of the year.
Hey, you know what I like in my Christmas movies? Child custody drama. That's why I always pop in my copy of Kramer vs. Kramer at the beginning of December. Single white Santa.
Charlie, he's not Santa.
Fucking Neil.
Charlie!
Even though Dad essentially kidnaps kid and scares the f*** out of the mother, everything will work out okay in the end and all will be forgiven cliché.
Fireplaces will no longer be a problem.
Were they a problem before? They're presenting this like they've had a technological breakthrough, but the preferred method of Santa's entry has always been the fireplace, right? So why is this needed at all? I bet you thought this movie was a lot better than it actually is. I know I did.
All right, let's go. You ready to go, sport?
Hang on, Bernard explicitly told Scott that he had to report by Thanksgiving, but the movie zipped right through the last bit since they've been at the North Pole like it's been a couple days max. So it's either that Charlie's been missing from his mother for a fucking month, or they f***ed up this timeline, and either way, it's sinful as shit. Why is everyone wearing protective goggles? It's not as if flames are going to come out of the back of Santa's sled. The usual Santa specs. Chinese checkers. Considering no one is supposed to see Santa, a lot of fucking people see Santa in this movie.
You're fatter this year.
Jesus Christ, stop letting this kid sleep in the living room right by the tree.
Look, there's Mom and Neil's street.
I know, it's like you're once again staying in the city limits of Chicago for this entire night.
It'll be okay, kids.
Let him go.
Isn't it supposed to be super late at night? Santa's already made several deliveries. So what's up with these fully clothed children that are up and out on the f***ing street? So no one's gonna check on the roof just for shits and giggles since Scott told them that's where Charlie is? Okay, guess not. Carry on. Dude, their whole thing is not being detected, right? Discount Dennis Franz.
We're not kids, and we're not visiting.
I mean, technically one of you is a kid, but semantics.
Mom?
But they literally just said the house was still under police surveillance. Jesus, everything about this final act is the bullshittiest bullshit that ever.
You helped make me Santa.
So really, this whole mandatory separation from your father thing is all your fault. Okay, good talk. Merry Christmas.
I love you, Santa Claus.
I love you, son.
So, are Neil and Laura just cool with Scott now? Just a few hours ago, they had his ass arrested. But they're good with all this playing out? Why?
It's the custody papers. I want you to come and see Charlie as often as you can.
So that's how the legal system works. Man, they're devoting a lot of police force to this non-violent jolly suspect who hasn't been proven to have done anything criminal. What is this, the fucking Blues Brothers?
Look up there.
Well, don't just stand there. Fire at will! Me, Santa, don't you have places to be?
Charlie?
Upon recovering their only son, who's been presumably missing for the last several weeks, Laura and Neil's first move was to let him stand outside by himself in the snow for quite some time.
Oh, judgment is nigh, for der Belschnickel ist I.
Yes, he is finally nigh.
And I want you to ram stock down your clients' throats till they fucking choke on it. Yeah. Till they choke on it!
Why doesn't he come in?
Because Daddy says you'll just end up saying something snotty.
Not necessarily.
Jerry, enjoy my wife.
Did you see that?
Yes, the frog is certainly taking a beating on this show.
I have a friend who works at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. How'd you like a behind-the-scenes tour?
Really? You could do that?
Easily.
Please, I beg you, don't do this.
Your mama.
How can one man, in one night, visit all the children of the world?
And I understand that. I get that, you know, but for me, what it comes down to is like Christmas magic.
I know who you are, but I heard you were dead.
I am.
I could put you in Queens on the night of the hijacking.
Really? I live in Queens. Did you put that together yourself, Einstein? What, do you got a team of monkeys working around the clock on this?